in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Happy April 3rd. That'll be the third day of April. It's Wednesday. Some of us call this hump day, camel day. Right. It's hump day. Not for all of us. Sunday and Wednesday are not much different for me. Give me a second. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Wipes on the phone. Not doing very good at sliding my chair today. Okay. Like an old man. Ert. Got more people at the meeting last night. In person. I actually had 12 years, and he's like, I like this place. So that was nice to have somebody with a little bit of time come and say, we've been waiting for a place like this. He's like, there's nothing out here, and I'm glad that there's something here now. So to have somebody come in, not knowing what we're doing, and say, wow, what you're doing is great, understanding exactly what we're doing. Good job, everybody. It takes a lot of people to put something like this together. It takes effort, and I'm proud of our group. We're making some progress, and it's cool stuff. I'm not satisfied, though. No. Right now, more people. Well, more people. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Tion. I'm just a dude that lives in North Glen, Colorado, that likes to share his experience. I'm a little bit older. I've been around for a little while. No, I'm not any better than you. Trust me. I don't want to be. I'm also not any less than anybody. So I am who I am. And, kind of like Popeye says, I am what I am, And that's all that I am. So we're talking about faith equaling action today. Faith without works is dead. Pretty clear line. We are in our fourth month. Now, I'm going to give you a little AA education. This is stuff that you start to figure out after you've been in the program for a little while. Okay. So let's use this. The daily reflection. Okay. This covers the month and the tradition of that month. That's what this covers. Okay. Why does it do that? Because there's a very good reason for it. Okay. When do we get most of our people? In January. Yep. Most of the seeds are planted in January. Do they stick around? No. We get a big flush, and then they come back about now. Now is when they start coming back after they've had the seed planted and a little bit of AA in their head. They go back out for a couple months, find out it's worse than ever, and they come back. That's why. Okay? So it starts with the first step, right? The very first thing in here, powerless. That's the second one. I am a miracle. That is January 1st. Listen to the very first, the foundation. Powerlessness. Begin where you are. Total acceptance. These are newcomer stuff, right? So that's why it's written that way. There was a purpose behind it. They didn't just like, oh, it matches. No. Okay. And you'll know when certain, okay, January, we always get a flush of people because of the holiday. Number one, they either got in trouble, or two, we have a lot of people that decide to quit drinking that aren't even necessarily alcoholic. Maybe they're just problem drinkers and they're going through a phase. All right, let's get to our stuff. All right, there's no reading for this. I don't feel like reading on the 4-step today. So, the first 3 steps of the program, we are going to talk about the 4-step a little bit, because the 4-step well, let's put it this way. Is the 4-step the first action that we take towards our recovery? I'm going to say no. Why? Because we went to meetings. We've been raising our hand. These are actions. Going to a meeting is an action. The sentence itself describes the action, right? I'm going to the meeting. And that is an action. Finding a sponsor, that is action. Are you praying? It's an action. Okay. Now, granted, they may not be the actions that we're quite looking for yet, but they are actions in and of themselves. Okay. We're getting used to certain things in the program. Kind of like 90 meetings in 90 days. What are we doing? We're trying to get you to understand that you got to go to a meeting every day and that it's okay. We want you to get to the point where you go from I hate being here to I actually enjoy coming to these meetings. Okay. To where people say, I look forward to this day. I've been hearing people say that at the club. They're newcomers. I'm glad that. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. I have no idea what I'm looking for in here. I have no idea. I know that I could go find the faith without works is dead, right? Next, here we go. Next, we launch. Let's do this. Let's go to into action. Yeah. Into action. Having made our personal inventory, what shall we do about it? We have been trying to get a new attitude, a new relationship with our Creator, and to discover the obstacles in our path. We have admitted certain defects. I say I want to talk about the 4-step, but here we are. It isn't going to be the only thing I talk about, right? So the action that we have in the faith is going to, what are we going to get out of this? Well, we're going to get courage. Because I find that my fear is not diminished. What I get is more courage, right? And my 4th step is going to be my first attempt to bring my snakes into the light. Yep. It's going to be my first attempt to bring these things which stand in my way of my Creator, of my higher power, of my own choosing. Like the first step in it, okay? Now, the key words behind behind step 4 are fearless and thorough. Those are the key words. Can you be fearless by the 4th step? You can. Okay. Does fearless mean you have no fears? No. Split it up. Split that word up a little bit. It means you fear less. Not you're fearless. You fear less. Okay? Not that you're superhuman and you can, you can walk through anything and stay sober. I know that. Because I'm sitting here. I'm going to check this because there's nobody here. Fine. People going to meetings. I'm just not good enough. All right. Then, once we have done step 5 and admitted our faults to ourselves, to God, and to another human being, it must be done with another human being, or it will not take effect. It won't take effect. Well, God already knows. I already know. Isn't that good enough? No, it is not. There is power in admitting to another human being your wrongs. There is power in pen to paper. We know this, okay? And that's why step 4 is important. Step 4 must be written, okay? Not typed. Typing is much different. We pocket our pride and go to it, illuminating every twist of character, every dark cranny of the past. Once we have taken this step, withholding nothing, we are delighted. We can look the world in the eye. Okay, these are the fifth step promises. We can look the world in the eye. We can be alone at perfect peace and ease. It's a freedom. It means you can spend time by yourself without driving yourself fucking crazy. You ever tell yourself, Dion, would you just shut up? Just shut up, Dion. Would you just be quiet? I've been there. Or I wish my brain would just shut up. Well, it does now. Our fears fall from us. What did I say? It isn't fear, we fear less, not fearless. There'll always be a little bit of fear. If you didn't have fear, why would you need courage? You can't have courage without fear. Kind of a requirement. What would be the use of courage if there was no fear? So, we begin to feel the nearness of our Creator. We may have had certain spiritual beliefs, but now we begin to have a spiritual experience. The feeling that the drink problem has disappeared will often come strongly. The obsession will leave. That is the gift of the step 5. It may have already left before this. Good chance it has. A lot of times it leaves during the 4th step, while you're doing the 4th step, and you don't even notice it. You don't notice it. It isn't until later when you start reading this and you're like, oh, wow, it is gone. I haven't thought about drinking in, when was the last time I thought about drinking? Well, I don't know. Yeah. That's cool stuff. Okay. The feeling that the drink problem has disappeared often comes strongly. We feel we are on the broad highway, walking hand in hand with the spirit of the universe. All right. The next action that we're going to take is step 6. Step 6. When I drink alone, I prefer to be by myself. I'm with Daryl. Okay. I do like human contact on my terms. I do. I can't. It's a balance, right? But I do prefer being by myself. I really do. Okay. About the only person that doesn't count is my wife. She can hang out with me all day long, and I'll still feel like I'm alone. Not alone, but I'm doing my own stuff because I don't mind. But yeah, I agree. I have to watch that too, which is why now I've set plans to get out and things like that. And so returning home, we find a place where we can be quiet for an hour, carefully reviewing what we have done. We thank God from the bottom of our heart that we know him better. I followed this. I followed this. I even put my book on the shelf so that when I walked in there, I could take it off the shelf. I'm very literal about this stuff. Okay. Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask if we've omitted anything. For we are building an ark through which we shall walk a free man. Is our work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Have we skimped on the cement put in our foundation? Have we tried to make mortar without sand? If we can answer to our satisfaction, we then look at step 6. We have emphasized willingness as being indispensable. Are we ready? Are we now ready to let God remove from us all things which we have admitted are objectionable? Can he now take them all, every one? If we still cling to something we will not let go of, we ask God to help us be willing. So now what I've done is I've discovered all these things that are blocking me from the sunlight of the Spirit. Am I now willing to give them up? It's not asking you to give them up. It's asking you, are you willing to give these up and step towards perfection? That's what we're asking. I know. You're not going to be perfect. That's okay. Okay. I'm going to strive for perfection, right? I'm going to strive for it, but I'm going to accept the best. I accept only the best. So it's a weird concept. It's a weird concept. Okay. People get weird on 6 and 7. They don't quite. Okay. So we got to keep it simple. Step 6. Am I willing? Just willing. Guess what? Willing is not an action. Step 6 really is not an action. It's step 7 where the action takes place in prayer. Okay, God, now I see all this and I'm willing. Okay, willing doesn't mean they're going to go away. My anger is not gone. My anger is not gone. God gave me a different outlet. He gave me a different outlet. That's going to bring me on to step. Now once we have done that, it says right here, now we need more action, without which we find that faith without works is dead. Let's look at steps 8 and 9. We do not sit on 6 and 7. They take an hour, according to the book. Your experience might be different. If it is, please post it because we want to hear it. All right. Let's look at 8 and 9. We have a list of all persons we had harmed and to whom we were willing to make amends. We made it when we took inventory. Your 4-step grudge list is now your amends list. I found that there were people missing. So go through it again. There were people missing that weren't on my grudge list, but I did owe an amends to. That happens, okay? We subjected ourselves to a drastic self-appraisal. Wow. Do you know how hard that is? Yes, you do, because you did it. It's hard. Okay. Even when you're looking forward to do, I know I was looking forward to the fourth step. I'm a little crazy that way, but I know what it means to look inside. I understand the freedom that I get. Oh, I was certainly on my list. Yeah. I was on my grudge list, and I was on my I was the first amend, I think. I think I think we don't know it, but in 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 we tend to forgive ourselves. And you need to. That's about where people start to learn how to love themselves. And when that happens, that's forgiveness. Unconditional love is forgiveness. Respect is unconditional love, which is forgiveness. Isn't that cool? It all works together. Okay. Remember, it was agreed at the beginning that we would go to any lengths for victory over alcohol. All right, that's 8 and 9. What about 10, man? This thought brings us step 10, which suggests we're still into action here. Told you we were going to read into action, which can suggest we continue to take personal inventory and set right any new mistakes as we go along. We vigorously commence this way of living as we cleaned up the past. We have entered the world of the spirit, and here it is. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter, but it's just one long living amends. It's what your life is, living amends, if you want to look at it that way. But if you're always making progress, either way, it doesn't matter if you call it a living amends or making the world a better place. It's what needs to be done. It isn't what I want to be. I'm not doing what it is necessarily that I want, okay, but I am doing what needs to be done. Okay. When I say things online like we don't need any more sober livings, I'm not fucking kidding. Every time I turn around, there's a new sober living, and we don't need a new sober living. We don't. We need a detox, for God's sakes. How about some treatment? How about some 12th step? How about some 12 step based treatment? Yeah, I could go for that. How about a halfway house? Yeah. I know. Okay, Daryl. Daryl's saying, Dion, get back on track here. All right. This is not an overnight matter. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God to remove them at once. We discuss them with someone immediately and makes amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. So the answer is yes, Daryl. Thank you for that lead in. I appreciate it. We call that in my business, we call that a segue. Okay. And great job on keeping me on track there. Thank you. Because he's right. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. Love and tolerance is our code. That's the thing is, I have found that working with another alcoholic is almost always my answer. Almost always. Especially if I've done the work. Now, the 10th step, it's my favorite step. Why? Because it allows me to be who I am. Yes, I call it the human step. It gives me the right to be wrong. It gives me the right to be human because we're all human. The 10th step also allows me to understand that you are human too. And that if I put expectations on you, the expectation should be that you're human, you're going to mess up, and so what? Right? Because we have ceased fighting anything or anyone. That's the neat thing. I'm telling you, the fight still comes out of me every now and again. You see it, right? Right? Yeah. It is also where we become sane and recovered. Yes, you can become a recovered alcoholic. Let me explain that because I don't like, well, yeah, I do like stirring the pot. That's part of my problem. Um, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, recovered. Recovered just means I get to use my brain again. It does not mean I'm cured of alcoholism. In fact, we are all an arm's length away from the next drink. Every single one of us. So, all right, let's talk about the laurels and wrap it up. Because it says it is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. Okay. Now, in a sense, it does mean, oh, yeah, yay, I did good. Right. But what happens is like, I did good. And I end up doing this all day long. Okay. And I have to watch that, especially in the beginning. A pink cloud can do this to me. Okay. Now, we do need to claim spiritual progress, and that is done the same way. But it takes 2 seconds. Good job. Sit. And then we move on. Okay. So I'm going to give a good example. I'm going to try and give, cruise control is a great way. I like that. Laurels is cruise control. If you are comfortable, you're probably resting on your laurels. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to be serene. This is what it means. So just ask yourself this question. What have I done today to make the world a better place? Okay. Time doesn't count. I'm not saying don't celebrate. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying time doesn't count. I'm coming up on 8 years in a couple of weeks. Okay. On that day, do you think it's going to change the world that I got 8 years? No, it might give some people some hope and things like that. But what matters more is that I'm accountable and that I'm available. That's what matters. Okay. Yesterday, we had some success at the club. We had more people show up, right? And people with time. And they said, we've been waiting for a place like this. Success. Okay. I'm telling you this today, but it's yesterday's success, not today's. I need a different success for today. It's a very good question. And the answer is because I'm bored. Right? Right. You're just segueing me here, and I know you are. Daryl knows the answers to these fucking questions. It's because I'm bored. That's why I would stir the pot, right? Which means I should probably go do something that's a little bit better. Yeah. So knowing is half the battle. Because there's times when I'm like, I feel like stirring the pot today. And I say it out loud so I don't. Because I have better things to do than stir the pot. I really do. But stirring the pot sounds like more fun. Why is that? Because my brain, I don't know that it's for my brain still enjoys other people's drama and stupid shit. That's why, just being honest with you here, we go through this stuff. It's just that I don't act on those things anymore. Sure, I get intrusive thoughts all the time, and I ignore them. For the most part, I ignore them. Or I'll say them out loud so I can laugh at it. Okay. Last night in the group conscious, they're like, okay, Dion brought up that maybe the meeting should be an hour and a half. Dion, do you still want that? No. Like, no. And why did you guys let me come up with that? And they're like, they said, we figured you'd just come to your senses. All right. And we can all laugh at it. It's silly. It's silly stuff, man. Okay. If you can't laugh at yourself, okay, and that's kind of a cue. I used to be very, very sensitive about all of this. Okay. And I had to take a look inside, okay, and take responsibility. I had to become my own safe space. I cannot expect others to know where I'm at. I can't, it is not their job to take care of me. That is my job. And if I need help, then it is my job to ask God's children for help. Right? So, because with them, I will stay out of things like stirring the pot. Because I'll remember, you know what? If I do that, I have to answer to this person and that person. And I don't feel like it. See? Accountability keeps me out of jail. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out, Daryl. Everybody else was in meetings and group consciousness, so acting like they got better things to do, like help alcoholics. I love this program. I love you all. Peace out and have a day.